Welcome back to the ESL ESEA Pro League. We're into the final game of the day, and it's been pretty damn good so far. But now we do get to see another good one, and this is going to be quite interesting because it's going to be mousesports against NaVi. The reason I say it's interesting is because I see a wild Nico up here.
A wild Nico indeed, standing in for Spiddy. If you have missed on the previous discussion about it, he's just got a prior commitment, so we are going to be seeing a stand-in for Mouse. Now, of course, we've seen Mouse in varying form recently, and we are just going to be going straight on in with the end of the knife round. I want to confirm who got which side. Didn't see. Okay. Well, either way, it does mean as it has ended, and we do have our sides confirmed, we are going to be seeing Mouse start on the CT side, NaVi on the right-hand side of the screen is on T. And we're going to be jumping into this one. And I'm kind of apprehensive. We'll see how Nico performs in that role of Speedy.
Well, the thing is that there's never been a doubt that Nico is probably one of the upcoming players you've got to keep your eyes on. But how well can he fit into this lineup? He was previously part of Mouse, so I'd argue they're in just as good of a shape, but a lot of pressure from the mid from NaVi starting on the T side. They'll be flooding in. Dennis will be on the receiving end, going to have to back himself up. Well, 3 players staring you down. You're not going to last too long. Surely, how has he made it out of there? I do not know, but now NaVi should be able to push into A, get that bomb down, and take control.
Not if Nico's hitting shots like that. He's looking for a second as well. Gobby's there to pick it up for him. As we are now going to be seeing the frags level out to 3 for 2, make it 3 for 1. Nico again, this man seems to be starting with a bang, looking for the third as well. But it's not quite connecting though as they whistle over Guardian's shoulder, and his teammate Nex is there to put the final one to bed. So 1-0 the score as mousesports draw a pretty easy first round.
Yes, and surprisingly so, considering NaVi really did take control of mid, pushed up short towards A, and then just couldn't quite make it past the truck. There was just Nico there. They'd lost all their utility by that point. And looking at the buy, actually a lot of rifles. The UMP with Chris J, SMG with Nico. And then on the other side, a fairly well brought in NaVi. Looking like they're going to go towards an A. That many smokes in practice, I could imagine it so. And look at this one. Nice little smoke down towards main. Just be dropped out by Nico if he feels it's required. But actually, NaVi switching things up. Are they doing the late boost into mid? I think so.
And that's going to kind of probably be a bit of a surprise to Nex, as they now know he is around that Z area.
Yeah, but they've got enough smokes and flashes. They can just push him out of there. I think it's going to be Dennis and Nico once again. Going to be awesome.
But they got mid-control before, and this is something we pointed out, that they got mid-control before and it didn't work out in their favour.
Perfect play from them. NaVi have just been able to pull everyone towards that A site and completely relinquish control of mid. NaVi now pushing in. Edward will claim Dennis, and actually they've got a good shot here. Nico's in the smoke though. He can cause some damage.
He's got the MP7 as well. He's going to rattle off a couple of shots, find Edward. You're not going to get the second as Guardian just puts him in his place. And now numbers do favour NaVi. They have armour. They're going to start having weapons all too soon. And another one picks that one up. And now it's all on to Gobby and Chris J. Chris J, UMP in hand. The rifle for Gobby. As this is not necessarily completely over for them.
C's gone around the world. Brilliant play.
Yeah, there's going to be enough pressure now. Gobby knows he can't quite peek. He's just going to try and fake it out, try and draw the shots on towards Quad, and this is just going to be a horrible situation to be caught in. He is going to connect the shots, not going to find the pistol, and NaVi pick up the second. And I mean, in great form as well. You said it was really nice to see C's doing what he did, rotating all the way around, playing the long game, realizing with the bomb down he had a kind of degree of freedom, trusting his teammates, and we do see now NaVi kind of mess with the start from mousesports.
I really like that play. The 2 players who went towards A early on put out just enough to pull the players from mid and by truck closer towards that A bomb site. And at that point, NaVi then pushed straight through mid, just catching them in their heels. Really nicely done. And now mousesports, very little money to be spoken of. Completely clean eco. This is a true and utter eco. There is nothing on their side. No armor, no flash, no nades. Just a couple of bullets and a very, very silent USPS. And this should be a clean round for NaVi. There is nothing that displays it shouldn't be this clean. And they should get a bomb plant to boot as well. Yeah,
they certainly should. And they're not in any rush to do it either, as they realise that Mouse have got absolutely nothing invested into this round. I mean, they are not going to try and make any mistakes. Next, though, forces their hand. That's going to be an easy one, as Guardian has now met a pretty poor situation. We're going to be seeing Edward, though, trying to find something in middle. Chris J shuts him down. And this has actually gone pretty south for NaVi pretty fast, as they will probably be able to wrap this round up, but already losing those 2 rifles, those 2 bought-up players. It's not ideal. Next going to be the last one to fall as Flame. He picks up a quick 3, but not as clean as it could have been.
Definitely not. That should have been the perfectly clean eco. To lose out on Guardian and Edward, not sloppy, but not perfect. They really should have been cleaner than that, in my opinion. But I just want to keep our eyes on what now mousesports do. They don't have the best economy in the world. They can afford at least a couple of pistols this time and a little touch of armor. I kind of want to see like a counter boost or something. I doubt they'll go for it, but I'd have really liked to have seen that and seen if they're really willing to pressure, because we know how much NaVi like to gain control there and like to push up over that boost. If they could have maybe got a flash or a nade there early. And it looks like they're actually stacking out mid quite comfortably, but NaVi then are just going to be shooting fish in a barrel if they keep peeking one by one. It's not going to be perfect, and it is going to be a very clean round here, but NiKo takes down Edward. And maybe they can retrieve that gun if they're very fortunate.
Yeah, I don't think luck is going to be favouring them too much here, as NaVi do finally secure a nice clean one. Just losing the one, it was Edward who went down, but that's not going to cost them anything. 3-1 then, the score, as we are going to be seeing bye on either side. And this is going to be Mouse's first real, well, second real test after that second round bye up from NaVi.
And we are seeing the AWPs coming out to play. One could be Guardian, probably arguably currently in the meta, one of the better AWPers who have come around, who have found their form in this, and really started to bring a lot of power back to their sort of style. The less flashy, less Kenny-esque style, the more methodical, you know, just really well thought out play. And Guardian brings that day in, day out. He's a player that will become a pleasure to watch if you keep your eyes on it. But I want to point out here, Nex in a great spot. He's pushed himself in mid, and you can see how much that's just paid off. Picking up 2 and denying that mid control. Mouse have really put a lot of focus on this, and it's just paid dividend. The rest of NaVi now going to have to probably focus on B, but Nex and Dennis have that great shot towards vents. They can just get themselves in when required. Yeah,
and that's going to put them in real dire straits. C's now down, looking for another one potentially next hit. As Guardian and his buddy Flamey are in such a dire position. Flamey is going to try and find a connection on towards Dennis through middle. Dennis shuts him down, though, as that's going to be a third for this Dennis-Nex combo. Sorry, a fourth. They have picked up 4, these two. And Guardian is just going to be clutching onto that AWP that we already praised him for. I've heard a lot of people describe him as the most successful AWPer off the back of that patch, as it did kind of complement his play style well. NiKo takes him down. He's probably going to snatch that AWP potentially for some double AWPing, and he's thinking about it with his teammates. The teammates say no. I mean, we've seen Dennis pick it up before.
Dennis, he's normally the man who just kind of takes that role.
What was that? Which team brought the triple AWP out recently? I remember we looking at that. We were shaking our head. He's on Cash as well. Was it Envious?
I don't know.
Anyway.
I have a horrible feeling as well the UK teams on the weekend. The ESL UK Premiership.
No, I think you're right. Maybe it was ESL.
I don't like triple AWPs. You remove so much viability once you lose them. I really don't like it. Anyway, into this round we are seeing a shoddy buy-up for NaVi in a way. They've still got the Glil with Guardian, so not quite as potent. But we'll see if they can make him find some form, or even just pick up one of the lost guns into this round. And looking the way NaVi are lining up, it does look like an A. Guardian is going to be dropping the smoke over, it seems, and Edward and Zeus waiting to go. Flash into the smoke. They've not yet committed to this bomb. NiKo will be playing that A site. And look at the focus in mid from Mouse. They love putting players here. And even if they take one down on short, that was Flamey coming out from Squeaky, they've still got Nex, they've still got Chris J in mid. It's so hard to gain control here into this map, and mousesports playing it a little differently than others.
Yeah, and I think NiKo's just going to be a real consistent player around that quad area. He's been constantly having that smoke ready. And this execute from NaVi is going to be a little bit of a mixed bag. And Flamey and Zeus throwing their smokes over. Guardian does have the bomb, and he is going to be coming towards main as, oh, NiKo, he's fluffed his lines with the Molotov, and that's going to put him in pretty horrible situation if his teammates don't back him up and back him up fast. Well,
Nex has just snuck himself onto the side fairly unscathed, but Flamey checks for it. Flamey deals with him, and now NaVi have good control. C's already in a good spot to set up. Zeus locking down towards short. Chris J probably doesn't want to go committing with this AWP here, but look at Zeus. Straight behind him, Zeus wants the frag, and he's going to get it, but quickly avenged by God B. But that's a lot of money down and out, and I don't think God B can recover that AWP.
I don't think it's going to be a recovery mission. It's going to be a mission of survival, as he's just going to be backing away, hoping that he can maintain his dignity and his life. That's been putting the 4th, though, on the board for NaVi. And this is, again, this is that slow T-side rounds that we know NaVi can be so prominent in. And I think that's going to be something that the mousesports defense is going to have to adapt to. I don't think what they're doing currently is going to work out too well for them.
I like it in a way, because NaVi put a lot of pressure from Squeaky towards short.
Yeah.
And then they'll maybe put one player just to drop a smoke in towards A, and they start kind of toying with it. And then they'll put that pressure in towards mid with 2 players. So they actually do find a way to break through mousesports stacking out mid, which is quite impressive considering mousesports have been quite strong on this map. They are not a bad team on this map. They have very capable players. That's a good indicator. However, looking at mousesports in their economy here, quite poor. A couple of 5-7s, a little bit of armor to complement it well. But the big player in this one's got to be God B, and he's been playing the B site where we've not really seen much of NaVi. They've been hidden up mid, they've been hidden up A, and now mousesports need to lock this down.
Yeah, they really do, and I think we're going to be seeing NaVi realize that they've got complete mid-control. You can see Zeus is just going to be realizing that actually, once he mollies out sandbags, that they have it to themselves, and that's going to mean a lot of information has been gathered, and we're going to probably see Guardian go aggressive on towards B through that vent area, at least try and gather some sort of information. He does have an AWP, though. He's probably not going to be first on the scene if he chooses to go for it. Chris J, as you can see, is just readying himself with a potential pop flash. But that bomb, and in the hands of C's, he's going to be making its way towards A, and I say that just as Flamey goes down on A with that aggressive duo push through Squeaky, and suddenly C's has a bit, maybe a second thought. Oh, Nico crawls through the smoke to find him, and the CT's already picking up frags. Finally, Guardian chimes in with one. Not going to be enough though. Zeus is there in response, and what happened? What on earth happened? mousesports are starting to look so very strong in this round. They only had pistols and they secure the round. Chris J and Next survive. They are going to be able to hoover up those free nades, and we are going to be seeing 3-4 then the score. And that is not supposed to happen. A few 5-7s and the saved M4 was all it took for them to pick up that CT round. And let's be honest, that was a complete contrast. What I said before, I said mousesports, you need to change something on your CT side. What did they do? They completely abandoned middle and they won the round.
It's strange, isn't it? I guess that's how you catch people off. That's how you kind of flip it on its head when it's in those kind of rounds. So looking into this one, T-side now kind of in that position. They're going to have to consider their economy, how they want to take this one forward. They've invested a fair bit into, the flashes and the smokes, but look at this boost. This could be a disaster. Without head armor, that vertical advantage will literally just be raining bullets into their brain. And it's Nico there, a player who doesn't often miss. Just going to be flashing towards main. That's his little buddy there coming in with the flash. Smoked it off. They've got the boost on towards the site as well. This is a big stack out by mousesports. They're reading this perfectly.
Yeah, so far so good. For the mousesports side, they're just delaying these Tech 9s. I say Tech 9s are actually two P250s and a CZ. But regardless, that's all they have to name. A couple of flashes and just the one smoke for Guardian as he does actually get taken down. The aforementioned nade holder eliminated by Chris J.
Nade holder, what a role.
What a role he's been given as Chris J finds another. And the bodies just keep dropping. Dennis is there alongside Nico to just put the final two to bed. And that's going to be another completely clean round for mousesports. 4-4 then the score. And I have to say their economy is starting to get pretty comfortable.
Yeah, it definitely is in a complete opposite. There's NaVi.
It only takes 2 rounds, yeah.
Yeah, and it's completely flipped on its head. But NaVi look as though they just got a little caught out then. They got a little caught out, and you can see the monetary value that can happen from it. And I really like this little play on towards the car from Guardian. Maybe looking to just challenge in towards mid. They've been putting a lot of players there, and he's going to actually be boosted as well. So there could be a bit of trouble ahead if Dennis isn't careful. If he doesn't duck under here, ooh, Guardian not going to actually spot that one out. And we'll be looking further for more openers into this game. But they've confirmed their presence in mid. But will they expect 3 players? Next is here, Chris J in the vents, and Dennis up on short. This is a very unorthodox AWPing position in my eyes. Normally you see more of a, an M4 just to put this one down, but Guardian just showing him how it's done. He knew what was up then. He knew what he wanted to achieve, and that's what I mean by Guardian being such a good AWPer. Yeah,
I mean, that's just patience. That's an understanding of your opponent as well, as Chris J gets caught by surprise. Edwards seizing that opportunity to take the M4, the AWP, sorry, as that's not going to pay off. And now, 3 CTs, and here comes the push onto B.
Look at Next, he's in the perfect spot as well. He comes around the back, using the vents and throwing it against him. This is sloppy play from NaVi, and they know it. Next just punished them. That was really well played. Not only did the player on that B side stay alive long enough, I think that was God B if I'm not mistaken. He bought the time, let Next get around the back and do that damage. That was very, very vital. That looked like a round for NaVi, but not to be the case. So now, CT side just continues to build that money. They got money for days here. 6.4k still in play for God B. He's just been soloing out that B site every round they win. He barely gets involved, so he just has to rebuy smokes and nades by that point. And now we might see him put to the test. A couple of pistols here and there, but once again, Mouse not reading into that. They're not stacking A this time. They've still got those 2 players B, but NaVi going to make a play here, and Christian is going to be in trouble. Try and fight his way out, but it's not good enough.
And that's going to spell trouble as already Guardian has an AWP in his hands. He's going to ready to deal with that presence in vents. Is he expecting a second? You bet he is. Throws out the molly. Not going to stop Dennis from getting away from that one, though, with a slightly warmer foot. And now Edward and Zeus going to try and do the best with that bomb down. Gobby just going aggressive, and that's exactly what he needs to do as he just dives straight on towards that bomb site. He's got a kit. He's going to... Oh, actually, no, he hasn't got a kit. Tell a lie, I was looking at Dennis. Dennis and Nico both do. The one man who's on the site doesn't. I said it's going to be hunting Edward down. He's got no armor. He's got no hope as he does go down. And that's going to be an easy defuse for the CTs.
I always did love Edward's movement, though. That's one thing that I absolutely used to think was absolutely beautiful about his game style. You can see it occasionally going to play. Didn't help him in the slightest in that round. But it's always good to watch. But 6-4 now. mousesports actually taking the lead. And you'd kind of expect it on a CT side. They are a team that's up and coming. They do have the powerhouse that is Nico. And he's just been playing well so far. Nothing, to write home about, 7-5. But he's just been solid on that A site. He's not yet really slipped up or looked weak. He's not looked like a stand-in. He's looked like someone who's in that main roster that previously he was. So, now, what are NaVi going to do?
So far, it looks like we're going to be seeing mousesports just favour that mid-stack once again. And NaVi, in response to that, look like they're going to be going for that boost as well. Guardian given that priority, and understandably so. Chris J, though, the alternative AWP is picking it up onto C's, and are they going to be anticipating this CT just at the edge of the smoke? They weren't, but Nex takes one with him, and it's an important frag as well as Guardian goes down. Dennis is there for his team as well, and so 4v2. Wow, that all happened too quickly. And now just the 2 Ts remain, and when you take a big chunk out of NaVi like that, you're just going to see them hit a standstill, hit that wall. And Flamey's going to try and break through, and he does not do too well. 20 points of health left for him, and Gobby's got him cornered.
Yeah, NaVi in a really bad spot in mid here. There's Dennis up on short, so he's kind of supporting Nico in case they still hit towards A. They could slip through those vents, and that's a brilliant way to start it off. Zeus takes down God B. That opens up mid. That's getting them asking questions, but Chris J is holding this cross, so he knows, guys, they're not in B. They've not come this way. Watch out for the push, and they did, and Zeus finds Nico. That'll make A vulnerable. Now they need to be smart here. Dennis and Chris J, they're going to be overwhelmed by numbers. Oh, Dennis looks away at the wrong time. Zeus breaks in, and Zeus is not done yet. This is Chris J now having to go big. Brilliantly played out from NaVi.
Brilliantly played out by Zeus. This guy has just picked up 3 incredible frags. If he finds this 4th, this is incredible. From just one individual, one man from... the NaVi side, and now Chris J is on the hunt. He's kind of trying to catch his push off the back. Flamey's low, as is Zeus. And Chris J's just backing away from that one. Wow, credit where it is due. Zeus just turns up with 3, and that was a 2 versus 4, and NaVi turned it around.
And it was just the way systematically they played that. Okay, we took down a player holding mid. All right, let's move up a little. They maybe want to connect it. Okay, that's got B down. And then they found Nico, and it was just 1 by 1. Yeah, they lose out on the kills, then they both die. They don't get to keep those guns, but it doesn't matter. They played that so damn well, just as a pair. And that's just the synergy you get from these sort of experienced players.
Wow. I mean, that's so important for NaVi, and Zeus just grabs his team, pulls them back, and says it's not over yet. 7 then is 7 frags on the board for him, and 3 of those were picked up in that 1 round alone. So Zeus was a little quiet. Things turned around though.
And this is funny. I remember that, well, I think we all remember what MBK was able to achieve against mousesports. They seem to give away some of these situations. They peek 1 by 1, they play 1 by 1. And you can see the power of when NaVi starts exploiting that. They take down Chris J with no answer. Guardian just breaks in towards A. Nico's pushed back on towards site. 4 players from NaVi raring to go here. Guardian going to look for the site here. Still peeking in. Nico finds Flamey, smokes out towards Squeaky, and NaVi is slowed down here.
For now, Guardian's still in main, and he's just going to be rattling off shots. They know exactly where he is, but that doesn't help him all the way. Edward has crawled out and found one. Nico down. He's going to find another one. Edward, they're just taking it in turns. NaVi to just start getting opening frags or even getting exits, as no matter what it is, NaVi seem to have some individuals so capable in picking up these frags in the direst of circumstances. And we are just going to be seeing Mouse just back away with those 2 remaining weapons, understandably so, as there is a 4-stack T side happy in that A site. It looks like C's might be going to try and find something. I don't think he's going to want to take too many risks. As you can see, they're kind of invested everything they have into this round, and so he's just going to be maybe trying to catch them off towards spawn.
Gobby's in a good spot, though. I don't think he'll give this one up if he's just going to hold it smartly. Caesar will have to show.
Yeah.
And there we go. He should be fine. And I don't know if Edward's going to go for this one now. He might just hold back until the round end and then try and make a push. But a well-timed flash. And this is the thing. I remember speaking to Joe about God B. I was like, whenever he's playing like solo sites or he's playing the small sites, so B, for example, the way he just uses his flashes, his pop flashes, and just how he controls it off the back of that, he was like, yeah, because the old German teams, you know, back when God B played, they were so dependent on these pop flashes, the way they'd be able to control the way around it, they'd be so creative with it too. And you see it time and time again. On maps like this, predominantly, also the likes of Inferno, you'll see him be able to pull off just wonderful things. But anyway, we are into a buy now. It's 6-6. mousesports going toe-to-toe in NaVi, showing them that they can do it well. They can really turn up here. And now next, once again, pushing up mid, looking aggressive. ChrisJ covering him off and just gaining map control, not allowing a step for NaVi, but an interesting boost coming out.
It's going to be just as much as he can. A little inkling towards Checkers, but it's not going to be enough to find a frag. That bomb still lingering towards, like, kind of leaning towards the B site somewhat, hoping for a connection through mid. I think Guardian's going to be heading there as well soon. And they must have an idea of where Nyx is. They must have that feeling for that aggressive CT presence in middle. Yeah, it looks like they do. Flame firing out some shots through the smoke. Nothing connects though. And now it's going to come down to that opening pick, and Edward's the one hungering for on A.
Yeah, Nyx is chomping at the bit as well. He's wanting to push mid, but there's still C's there. He's still lurking. So it's all going to come down to players like NiKo up against Guardian. And where's Dennis going to come into the mix? They're trying to split up what NaVi can do. They can't push together as a collective. And Guardian just checks it. That is perfect. Takes out Dennis. And that's just the experienced play from Guardian. Not giving the side up. He's holding that peak. He knows NiKo's there. He knows he likes to play that spot. But will he buy enough time for Zeus to get close? They need help, and they need it now. Zeus, Guardian, and Flamey trying to take this side. NiKo still stands tall. 3 players in front of him, but not going to be toiled with. Guardian still stands up, but the bomb has to go down. Time is of the essence, and I don't think Guardian... There's not enough time. They do not have enough time for this, and they ran it to the wire. And mousesports denied them at the final hurdle.
NaVi making things difficult, but not difficult enough. mousesports prevail in that one. This is going back and forth. It is quite literally a tit-for-tat game. 7-6 the score. And we are going to be seeing a pretty shaky NaVi economy. Are they going to be able to put it all together? Yeah, we're going to see some rifles. We're going to see some armor Tech 9s, or at least some armor CZs, and in the case of Edward. But then again, never rule Edward out of a pistol. I was about to say a pistol round. Never rule Edward out when he has a pistol in his hands.
Yeah, I don't think he needs just it to be a pistol round. You know, he can do it against 4 buys. But yeah, if NiKo gets boosted up again, which I think he is, this is going to make it even harder. He doesn't play this a lot. And that's the thing. Like when Maniac does this, he does this a lot. He'll get himself up onto that spot. He likes to play these elevated positions, whether it be on Inferno on the balcony.
Yeah.
But he's always good at that. But if NiKo's not renowned for doing it, if it's not like, oh, it's NiKo, he'll 100% be there if they have the chance. It's got so much power because he can just play it every now and then, throw it in, and say, guys, I've got A completely. Guys, just focus mid. And this is what's going to happen right now. Dennis finds Edward, and NaVi trying to do that double smoke in mid to allow them towards those vents, but Gobby's waiting on the other side. Guardian doesn't have much of a shout, and this is going to get very, very difficult.
Yeah, and they're just trying to seize that mid control, and pun not intended. We are now struggling to see a way in for NaVi. Yes, they got the pick onto ChrisJ. Yes, that's something, but by taking this mid control, last time we saw this happen, oh, I need to just eat my words, because Seas and Guardian have somehow found something off Mouse. That's really not what I was expecting to see go down. Another one bites the dust. That suddenly timing. Next, with just a USP and armor, is going to be trying to do something. And where did this round what happened? I saw ChrisJ go down, and then NaVi just started picking up frags. And they're going to pick up the round. That is not what I anticipated. 7-7 then the score, and I really just need to stop writing NaVi out of rounds. They can't. That's twice now where it looked impossible, and they shut me down.
See, the thing is, 1 by 1, mousesports do get picked up a lot.
Yeah.
They have a great, and to me at least, I'm not going to say I'm on the level to do analysis this in depth for these guys, but this is going back a couple of rounds here, but look at Guardian. It was just beautiful. Yeah. But that aside, mousesports have an initial very good setup that works out well, but if that one piece falls away from the puzzle, none of the other pieces really fit in, and then it kind of breaks down. unluckily, to be fair, NiKo just had bad timing, but now they're going to take the matters into their own hands. Christian pushing up by Squeaky will find Edward, but now NiKo and Christian are in a bad position. They're both low, they both could be pushed. Next now has to commit, and you can see just the punishing value of NaVi just going to play into their hands. And now 3 players left standing for the CTs. They're in a bad spot here.
And they're just looking to make something out of this final round. NiKo's so low. Woof, that Molotov brought him close. 12 points of health remaining for him as another molly is going to be thrown out. And 4 NaVi members are going to try and swarm on in next. Running out of ammo, he's running out of life as he does get taken down. And now just 2 remain. NiKo doesn't really count as a man at this point with the lack of his health. Flamey gets the last. And that's going to be just pipping them at the final hurdle. Yep. You're going to be seeing 8-7 on the half for NaVi.
Now, actually, as a scoreline, that's pretty darn close. I just want to see how well they operate now on the T side, because I think CT, most players, if they're playing a similar role or position, so for example, NiKo for mousesports, they can do well enough. You know, he was comfortable at quad, he could do the smokes towards main, he's fine with it. It's not going to like push him beyond belief. However, on the T side, to find that timing, the placement, how he needs to play, yes, he used to be part of mousesports, but not with these guys. He was not in this iteration. He was the one previous. So this is where I think there's going to be a testing point. If mousesports can turn up on their T side, I think they'll pick this up. Yeah,
and that's an interesting kind of observation you made, because it has to be said that, yes, sometimes a T side needs to be really, really locked down. On Cash, you could probably get away with some randomness. Titan do.
Yeah, for sure.
So that element of randomness, that extra kind of addition, this NiKo could be maybe doing something that they wouldn't expect. Spiddy perhaps plays it differently. And, I mean, that could obviously go horribly wrong, but there's that little percentage that could go really, really horribly right.
But I do also wonder, does this mean now GobB has to call in English? I don't know if NiKo speaks fluent German.
No.
So this could also, not ruin the dynamic, but make it harder. If GobB's calling, he did originally want that German setup around it. If he's having to switch to English, that could change things up a little. Yeah. But then again, NiKo could understand basics, or Chris J could just tell him really quickly what the hell to do. So, you know, these are the things I don't know personally about the teams. We are live into the pistol, and this is massive on such a close scoreline. Why don't you take us into this one, because this is going to look good. T-side being Mouse, NaVi on the CT, and NaVi going fully in for the armor, and the T-side not so much so.
Let's see what they have kind of in store for us. You see NiKo's trying to bait something out early on A, and NaVi have none of it because they haven't even got to the site yet. In the meantime, Miles just stacking up towards middle, and Edward has got his eyes trained on that very location. 3 heads could just pop up at the same time, and he's just going to have to be cautious with this one. Oh, he's just timed it so well. Perfect from Edward. Perfect from Zeus. And look at this. They're just wrapping around and bringing the pain for Mouse now. Just 2 remain, GobB and Nex, and I don't think they're going to be long for this world as they're already being hunted by Zeus. And I believe that's going to be, who is that? Edward. He's going to be looking for that final frag, and he's most likely going to find it.
Oh, GobB's not going down without a fight at least, but odds are definitely against him as Guardian will get it, and NaVi kick things off as they'd want to. But as you said, the timing, the right place at the right time.
Also just looking at Boost as they push, like, oh, that's what I need to know.
Perfect.
Like, just so smart.
And whether or not that's them kind of being aware of the timing Mouse likes to use, because Mouse at the moment are just probably going through the motions of, okay, well, we started on this map not too long ago, we weren't great at it. We've worked it in, these are our, you know, basic strats, these are our go-to strats. And the timing won't be, you know, game-breaking, won't be game-changing. If NaVi watch 2 or 3 of their games on this map, then they've probably got a good idea of what Mouse like to do and when. It's quite typical. But now Mouse, looking at what they've got to work with, not a great deal. They might just be looking for a cheeky overwhelm the bomb site, bomb plant. Just try and put bodies in and see what they can achieve. They have no flashes, no utility, and that's it.
And you can see from the distance Season Guardian are putting between them and the site that they know that there's probably going to be a 5-man stack. They don't want to get caught up by these close quarters pistols, and so that is a nice nade from Guardian. He's just making it work with whatever weapon he put in his hands. He takes 3. He lets go for a 4th, and surely not, as Nex shatters his hopes and dreams of the ace. Now, so we're going to be seeing Zeus just put a bow on it to end it all. 10 then 7 the score, and NaVi managed to shut down what was going to be just a hopeful second round from Mouse.
Yeah. And I think you said it very well then. The way they positioned, they were expecting it, maybe even Tech 9s or thinking maybe something they wanted to try and push the site. And they were just waiting. They were just patient. And I really like that about the NaVi side. Patience is their virtue, pretty much. They run that consistently on their T, on their CT.
Sorry, just as you said, patience. That made me think about mousesports and their recent kind of adaptation in their T side. They like to go slow. They like to play it. I think I dubbed it NaVi style, but like they did something quite similar beforehand, and it's kind of interesting to see they're kind of trying to fight fire with fire now on their T side.
It's quite interesting actually, see if they are able to do that, because NaVi are going to be a team who's so well aware of it.
Yeah.
how to handle it, the downfalls and the benefits. It's always going to be interesting.
I almost wish I picked up on that sooner, because they actually really did play it very similarly beforehand.
But Mouse really show it on their T side, to be fair. That's the thing. That's what I want to look out for, is how much they like to slow down these days. Even on gun rounds, Zeus actually going to just go straight up to it. Takes down Chris J, takes down Dennis, does get out alive for a second, and does finish it off. And almost ran into the fire, but he realized maybe not a good idea. But well played by NaVi, picking up good rounds back to back. So this is where we now need to see the big playground from Mouse. This is where I want to see what they come in with. Do they go for the fast plays? Do they go for the overwhelming site plays? Or do they slow it down? Play that clinical, very controlled game that did catch off the French sides not too long ago. So, we're going to find out very soon. No AWP to be seen. Chris J sadly won't be having that one. And Flamey actually sticking with the SMG still.
I mean, I guess that's it's a tactical maneuver there from NaVi. We'll see what he chooses to do with it. I can assume he's going to go close quarters, and he does. He goes straight up, pushes it aggressively on towards B. And Zeus is there to back him up alongside Ed. But this is a very aggressive CT positioning there from NaVi. Not going to be too successful unless they manage to play that vents perfectly, as it looks to me that mousesports are just going to be playing the slow one once again and start by hunting for a pick on towards B.
It looks like they've just kind of left Nico to just see what he can achieve, almost. He's kind of playing squeaky by himself. He's not quite with the main collective here. He's just spamming through. See if he can maybe get a connection towards Guardian. It's absolutely fine. He might get something eventually. It's Chris J waiting out too. And it looks like Dennis and Godby are actually coming back around. Next is the one splitting off towards the B site, where Zeus and Flamey are. Edward's still pushed up at mid. Zeus is the one in the vents as well. So if they play this out right, Mouse, they could overwhelm Guardian on A and actually get the bomb down pretty well. They're running this clock very low. This is what we were theorizing. And look at this, though. The CT side held onto their flashes, and it's about to be go time, but nice counter flash towards Squeaky. But it doesn't matter. Nico delivers.
And that's going to be so lovely to see. mousesports just kind of playing NaVi's game against them. And this is like a perfect example of what we were describing beforehand. They've run the clock all the way down. Chris J just fragging left and right. Nex is there as well. And it's just going to be a near perfect T-side round there for mousesports.
And hey, it may not be pretty, it may not be flashy, but if it gets you rounds, do it. That's a big gun round in the second half here. mousesports going to get a little bit of bank going, going to be able to get those investments, get those mollies so they can then put in towards vents and maybe deny that control come out from Zeus. And it's just these small things going to tick together. But we do see Guardian with the AWP, and that is always a huge element in this one. I don't know where Mouse are going to take themselves here, but I certainly hope it's not into his arms.
Yeah, Guardian looking to go for that aggressive pick. Just going to flash himself in. It's kind of rare to see that aggression. I almost thought I was watching Kenny for a second, but no, Guardian, he has very controlled aggression. He knows when he has the kind of parameters to go aggressive, and this time, not going to come of it just yet. This one taking a slow down pace once again, especially after the loss of Nex. I mean, if Mouse are slow and they've got 5, just imagine when they've got 4.
And Seized is boosted up there, so Seized and Guardian both watching this. But then again, there's still 2 players dedicated towards B. The only hope would be, I guess, taking down Edward in mid and then maybe working up towards A, but it's going to take a lot of brute force otherwise. mousesports don't have that much information. They know Guardian's got an AWP and he's on A, but do they expect Seized to be boosted up? Did they see anything to indicate that? Well, there we go. Guardian's going to have the information and the shot to follow it. He's kind of baited it out now for these guys to push up a little more, and there's Seized going to be ready and waiting. And Guardian will just readjust and start raining in fire.
Wow, quick gobby though. It's enough to dispatch of Guardian, but his teammates there to pick it all up. And NaVi, I mean, we just see like a clear-cut Mouse round, then we see a clear-cut NaVi round. It's just back and forth, and it's very reminiscent of the first half. 12-8 though, NaVi have managed to pull ahead, and we'll see how long they can maintain that.
And I have to reiterate how good that Guardian combo with Seized and on that boost was, just because everyone then will be like, okay, we can push up a little bit because Guardian's probably backed. He's not going to sit out that aggressively, and then you'll still have Seized just up on top, watching the feet come pouring through. He can even control on towards Squeaky. It was just really smartly done. Now, mousesports looking far more dedicated towards this B side. They've got 1 AK, a couple of Tech 9s, and a P250, so they might as well try and brute something out of this. It is going to be God B with that AK, but we know they can do these rounds. We know they can make them hurt, and they're definitely making NaVi hear that AK. They want to just say, guys, you know, we still got a little bit of power here. You got to be careful, and then they might just try and overwhelm that B side.
Well, their attempts don't go too well, as we're going to be seeing a 1-for-1.
That nade.
Zeus onto Godby, and that nade, as you highlighted already, is going to be absolute prime. Zeus readying himself, though, as he knows there's going to be plenty of checkers. And look at that, they're playing chess, and it's gone horribly wrong. Just next. And now Guardian and Seized just desperately trying to find that remaining T. He's made noise, they know exactly where he is, but patience is going to be exercised by Seized as he chooses not to peek, waits for Guardian to connect, and it's going to be another... I don't want to say an easy round, because that was a little too difficult for NaVi, but they do manage to secure it. 13-8 now the score. And now mousesports, I said it was close. You need to start picking up rounds and picking them up now. Well,
that's the thing, isn't it? We're questioning how well they can play on that T side. Do they have that full power in play with Nico? Yeah. He's been quite quiet. He's not been having the big performance yet on his T side. So I think it is a small factor missing out. But now let's take into account what they have. They have the AWP with Chris J. And we can see on the other side of things, Guardian still running his. So that's always a good battle to witness going down. I love this peak over here. It's something I think I first saw Fnatic doing, pulling that one off, boosting up onto this actually. But still, it's always good to see that coming into practice, into play. Flamey and Guardian going hunting on towards B. Guardian does get outdone by Nex, and Flamey doesn't give away the game. He doesn't peek out, he doesn't show. He can recover the AWP and actually get an off angle here, but he does get spotted, and mousesports might want to try and punish this. I
mean, Nex, just to have the kind of intuition to think there's going to be a second, that is really top quality CS. As Nico does pick up another on the other side of the map. That's the squeaky player down as Edward is there onto Dennis. Back and forth we go, to and fro. This time though to Mouse, as it's going to be all on Flame. Flamey, sorry. He's all on the other side of the map, and he's not going to be lighting any fires anytime soon. As we are going to be seeing 9 now for mousesports. They said they needed to turn up, and they have in this round. It's just back and forth, taking it in turns to pick up kind of 4 players remaining.
And it's really good to see mousesports actually go in those slow A's. That seems to work out better. When they go B, you see how quickly NaVi are able to kind of fold in through mid. They utilize how quick it is and how good they are at it. For some reason, Mouse seem to take over A much, much better. But still, we'll have to wait and see if they can do that into later rounds. This one is pretty much done and dusted. The 4 players remaining should get away with their guns. I doubt Flamey's going to go hunting at this point. He definitely doesn't have the cash to do so. Terrorists win.
Definitely doesn't. Saving that one up. So, this is going to be the test. mousesports, their money isn't great. It's going to be even worse if they lose this one, as they will be money screwed. Look at that scoreboard, 18 for Zeus, 24 for Guardian. So successful, and I just realised he's definitely rocking that Guardian pin. He is most definitely.
I kind of want to give him the Guardian Elite one now, just so he can.
Because he's an Elite Guardian? That's
well, yeah.
I guess he's probably earned that title.
Yeah. I might have to.
He's going for it. Oh, it's going to be AWP for AWP. I think we're going to be seeing this one.
Beautiful.
Chris J's got the peeker's advantage, but that doesn't stop Chris. Oh, I was going to say, just doesn't stop Guardian. He peeks into it. Chris J shuts him down. And now Cease is going to be meeting a similar fate. This is big for Mouse.
This is perfect. Aggressive, fast play. Just changing up the pace here. Chris J hitting that shot is going to be brilliant. Good plan comes in from Nico. I think that actually might work for main as well. Nice little adaptation there. Going to allow Chris J to stay relevant, even though he's pushed up. And now Flamey, Edward, and Zeus are so locked out here. They're so far away from being able to get back in. Nico edging in, using that smoke well. A little bit off on his aiming on that one, and actually allowing a little bit of glimmer of hope. But Chris J says no. Flamey will want to keep this into hand.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's having a look. He's just found Dennis's head, and that's going to be plenty of a consolation prize as he's just going to be getting out of that one. As I say that, may very well be hunted down. Either way, bomb's going to explode. We are going to have one NaVi man saving, and we said mousesports are taking a risk. They do manage to acquire that 10th round, and that was such a big round for mousesports.
And 2 bomb plants as well. They've been really working the A side well. I think we might see a switch up when the gun round comes in for NaVi towards A, or just try something different, because their mid stack's great when Mouse are actually going B when they're going mid, but when they're going to A, they don't get into the side before there's 3 or 4 players on there. They lose out in these exchanges. But now I wonder if mousesports are going, hey, well, they're going to account for that. They're going to overcompensate that. Let's go B. And that is a smart thing we're seeing here, actually, from these guys. They've got 3 players waiting on the B side. All of NaVi are in mid, 1 by A. And this is just a good counterplay, a good read from mousesports, trying to predict how maybe NaVi would respond to those previous rounds.
Yeah, they're kind of reading into it and reading into it absolutely perfectly. Edward finds something with a pistol. No surprises there, but I'm not going to be seeing too much more as he just managed to just retrieve that AK and get out. Get out of dodge. I mean, that's going to be 11. mousesports going to be taking back control. And I mean, this is actually a really interesting game to watch. A really good one to see, like, two what feels like similar T sides going against each other.
Yeah, even down to the player style, I guess, with the likes of, you've got the heavy hitters like Chris J, you've got Guardian on the other side, and all these other players going to come together, and it's really nice to watch. So, at the moment, a very, very clinical and slow game as well. That's the thing. These guys are running this clock all the way down.
And so you heard it there, Terrorists win 11 now to 13. You guys voted at home, which I do like to kind of bring this one up. 67 to 33 in favor of NaVi. You guys voted at pro.eslgaming.com/CSGO. If you guys didn't know it exists, do get over there and let us know what your thoughts are for every game for the coming week, as we're jumping into a very important round for both sides.
And bearing in mind, NaVi yet to really get themselves into this league. They're dying for a win here. Only 5 matches played and a 3-2 record. Still positive, but definitely needing more. mousesports currently sitting above them on the ranking, so this will really boost up NaVi. So hopefully they can kind of find a little bit of something here and convert these last couple of rounds. But mousesports, just to recap, slowing down this time. Look at them. They've got map control. They've got mid control here, mousesports. Somehow they've worked themselves into this. And NaVi, who put 2 players there occasionally, really started to build presence, have switched up. But throwing our minds back originally, where mousesports were on those early gun rounds on the T side, it didn't work out towards B. They won those couple of rounds, getting themselves back in this, adapting towards a slow A play. Let's see if they can do it now. Let's see if they've changed around enough. Zeus and Flamey will be the 2 waiting. Flamey by that close right box. Zeus further back. Edward going towards upper. This is a big play, and it's not working out. Zeus already finds next. Chime in coming out from Flamey, and it's only just being clawed back for a second until Flamey takes that break, and now only 2 players remain.
Oh, Chris J just using any weapon he's given. This time it's going to be the M4 as he snatches it from the body. Flamey with more. That's 4 for him as he just pulls his team to the 14th round. Very, very crucial play from Flamey, the newer addition to NaVi. I was going to call him the new addition. He's been there a while now.
Yeah, he's been there long enough,
He's
right?
no longer the new addition.
Yeah.
He's the newest, whatever you want to call it.
I think that
That's
works.
the newest. There we go.
That works.
We got there eventually.
But it's like saying Carrigan, the new addition. It's like,
yeah.
you've been there enough now. You know, we expect big things from you, and, well, Carrigan's certainly delivering. Not saying anyone else isn't. Sweeping statement again, before, Twitter calls me out, how much. Anyway, 14 to 11, NaVi taking back control. And this is what I was saying. I don't like it when mousesports go to that B site. They seem to just lose a lot of their potency. When they play these slow builds towards A, it actually works out quite well. But look at NaVi now. 4 players quite close to this A site. They've got a lot of control here. Guardian already eyeing it up. He's not far from hitting that shot either. And Nico is under real pressure. He's got to be careful.
How has that molly not caught him? Guardian just connects through the wall. He knew Nico was there.
Such a beast, this
guy. He just seems to have such an understanding. I think he's just toggling X-ray on and off, man. He just seems to have a real good knowledge of where these players are going to be coming from. Either way, with Nico down and out. Admittedly, Nico has been quite kind of common presence over towards that sneaky side. But now Mouse are trying to find an opening elsewhere. Getting quite deep in towards that B site. Zeus, look at that positioning. That is a patient CT. And little does he know, God B is just around the corner.
Guardian is waiting as well. That's the thing. If Zeus fails, there's always the fallback of Guardian, but Zeus will not fail. He finds God B. He expects more. Perfect flash comes in. Guardian gets one. Edward through the vents. And this is just a shutdown again. B does not work with mousesports. They try and try again, but they do not draw these players away. Players just sit there the whole time. Zeus didn't move. You said patient play. And that was absolutely on point. He didn't move a muscle. Got there, sat down. Hey, Guardian eventually rotated back, and then you had Edward popping in.
It's communication, it's teamwork,
perfect.
It's understanding and trust of your team as well. And that's going to be the kind of the clincher, I think, for NaVi. That's something that does separate them from mousesports at this point, at this stage of the mousesports development. Still, 15-11. Got a whole lot of match points now for NaVi. And look how aggressive Edward is going straight through middle. He's going to try and get himself into a prime position and try and catch mousesports off once again. He's been doing it time and time again. In fact, basically they're just taking it in turns now. NaVi players are just trying their hand at surprising, and there's a big exchange going on in middle. You see Zeus just backing away in this aggressive CT pursuit.
God B trying to go for that little bit of an aggressive play, and actually he's found Flamey. He knows there's another. This What's going on here? God, B just being fed kills right now.
What? NaVi, I mean, I understand they wanted to kind of catch Mouse off, but...
Don't feed him kills.
Don't go giving them freebies. As now, things are going to take a little bit of a slower turn. As the T's are just going to start hunting the defending players, the remaining players, I should say. C's now just left in a complete dire circumstance. He's in a very sticky situation. He has taken one, and he's just going to back away. As we are just going to be seeing him try and save that one. You used to be able to see their name through the wall. That has been fixed in the recent patch. I read, and they've really kind of cleaned all that up. Yeah,
a lot of stuff has been changed in the recent patch, and it's quite nice, and even just the way you can visually see certain areas.
Other than this knife sound that we're not sure. We're still not
sold.
We're still not sure.
No, not sure, Valve. Volvo,
Yet.
Please. It may grow on us.
Yeah, I'm
we
sure
might
it will.
eventually love it. It may be just, you know.
And then they'll put the old one in and we'll be like, whoa, what is that?
Oh, it sounds so weird now. Please don't do that. But no,
it sounds more knife hitting something, I guess. It's almost more like...
See, I'd kind of accept it for maybe a flip knife, you know, when it comes out almost. That kind of like pushing sound, you know what I mean?
I'm with you.
That feels better to me, but I'm not sold on this hitting a wooden wall. It sounds like, or a wooden wall?
No, a rock crab, as I outlined.
A rock crab. Yeah. There we go. Anyway, back into the game. We are 15-12, and NaVi not great for cash here.
Yeah, this could get drawn out.
This could get closer. This definitely could. I was starting to build my mind towards, okay, well, this is NaVi's game, but mousesports having none of my thoughts. An aggressive peek from Chris J could pay off.
And does. It's going to be too easy. Edward down. He's, of course, just had a pistol to his name, but that hasn't stopped him in the past. And as we are now, we're going to be seeing Mouse fight for some mid-control and take it. It seems as NaVi are just going to be enabling them. We're going to be seeing those two B players and two A players just stick around and try and get an idea of where mousesports going to be playing. Not going to be giving them any information, though, as Mouse are waiting for the CTs to come to them. I mean, it happened before. I don't think NaVi are going to be making the same mistake again.
I hope not, for their sake. And slowly, slowly does it. Guys, we could just skip that first minute of this round almost right now.
Because both of these teams play T-side so slowly.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we find ourselves going into kind of nature documentary voice.
And now,
that's where I feel like I'm doing. I'm like,
we see a wild Nico.
Amen. Gonna be their natural watering hole.
And in this natural habitat, we might find C's.
The predator of the A site there.
Finds his prey.
Doing his hunting.
All right, let's get back into normal because they're about to get going here. 28 seconds. They're deciding they want to heat things up, turn it up in the kitchen. And now 20 seconds left. Will they ever enter the A-bomb site? We ask the question. And I think we hear the resounding answer of no. As they finally breach once more onto the breach, dear friends. And Nico does deliver. Guardian goes down. He finds another. Nico single-handedly doing damage. And they will clean up the last with a mere 5 seconds remaining. We are dragging this one out, boys and girls. No one's going home just yet. Because Mouse want to use that full timer.
Yeah, NaVi now have a full arsenal. This is where things are going to heat up. We are going to be seeing an AWP for Chris J, not for Guardian. So that is, of course, that slight advantage. I say slight. It is, of course, Chris J wielding it. Not necessarily a slight. That is that advantage for mousesports. And we'll see what they choose to start this one off with. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see the clock go all the way back down to 20, Lauren.
All right, what time until they actually...
The bomb?
Go, you know, like in a bomb site, so through A main or through B main?
I'm going to say we're not going to see them do that until, look at the overlay view, we're not going to see that happen until at least 30 seconds.
You're saying 30. I'll say 25.
Okay.
Just to undercut, you know, not too much, but...
Yeah, so look at that. If you look at the overview now, look at those 4 members of Mouse, literally just by boost. Just going to try and gather their numbers, try and find a pick towards middle. And you guessed it, NaVi are giving them middle.
See, but if they come up short, I think we can call it a just by short.
Yeah.
So if they breach past that, that's another 25 or a 30. I think it's a little closer, but you know, Mouse are chilling. They're good.
Hey, it works.
A smoke, a flash.
Change what works.
Hey, I'm not doubting it. I'm just saying we're here for a while. We're you know, we're here for the long ride, guys. See, that flash was a little too early. I think they've made me nervous now. And oh god, they're trying a B. Please don't try a B.
30. What? That's my. Oh, I think you might be right. 30 was what I called. Then again, what about vents? Is vents popping out of vents?
No, they have to get into the site.
Oh, 25! called it. It was going to see
amazing, guys.
Pick it up. Flamey and Edward are on the rotate, but the smoke is going to come out. That's going to lock Edward out.
God,
Flamey down.
working.
It works time and time again. Mouse just seem to have a great feel for the timing on this T side. They're going to bring it to 14. As NaVi are realizing they're trying to do some maths in the head.
God.
Do we save? Do we take play for the overtime? They are.
This is the first time that B-take actually worked, though. We haven't seen that work out too often. That late execution on A, perfect. B, not so much. They got absolutely ruined, but they slowed down so much. The Flaming Zeus like, all right, it's 20 seconds.
It's an A.
It's 20. Come on, you know, they moved up a touch and just got spanked down to size. So the irony being, actually, I just noticed that Nico's actually towards the top of the scoreboard. You got next 24, but Nico, what a player. Anyway, this could be going overtime, guys and girls.
It very well could. It's all going to come down to what Flamey and Zeus can put in their hands, as well as how Mouse choose to play it, and they can't put much. You think that overtime is a very much a possibility. I think we're going to be seeing some FAMASs dropped out by those players that did manage to save. So they are going to have a full rifle lineup, but not ideal. And mousesports, they've once again got Chris J on the AWP.
Don't hand it off to me now. We've got another minute and a half.
You're right. I'll just keep talking.
All right, we're going to go bets. I reckon they'll speed up this round.
You think we're going to see a fast one?
Just because they're crazy, you know? Because they're crazy.
No, not going to happen. Look at that bomb. Bomb is over at B. Gobby hunting for some picks on the or through the smoke towards Checkers.
Right. I say 20 this round.
I'll say 15.
Oh, do you think they can make it to the site at 15?
They can do that. I'm calling it 15 seconds before mousesports make a push in towards main.
Chris J's job right now is to watch the counter boost. That's his job.
But I mean, it works so well.
It does. It's kind of insane to see that someone's first minute of the round.
Against a team like NaVi, who have such a deep understanding of slow play.
Exactly. It makes it so much more imperative. And still, we'll have to wait and see how this one goes out. Zeus and Flamey's rotation, their timing is going to have to be crisp. They're going to have to understand this. But then again, does NaVi take that risk to push a player up somewhere to get that information? No. They're going to sit back. And we are certainly getting close to those times. So what time did you say?
I said 15.
15 and I said 20. Guys in chat, type your times.
Yeah, let's see what you got. The bomb's still in mid. Right. Exactly. 37 seconds left.
He is going towards A, kinda.
Look at Dennis, though. He's trying to keep the B players there. And look, he's got Edward rotating. Oh, Edward's rotating as well.
Seized is boosted, though. Seized is still in a great spot. It's going to come down to Seized and Guardian. And these two are running this down to the wire.
Did I say 15?
You said 15, I said 20.
Still in main.
Oh, God damn it. They waited
18,
for it. Here we go.
17. It's
going to go down to Seized. He's in the perfect spot, and he is reining it in right now. Nico might be their saving grace, but just 10 seconds left. It's down to next. 1v3. They left it too little, too late. And in that final round, finally, NaVi lock it down.
15 seconds before you leave A main is just, I mean, you're counting on so much success. You are just counting on those 3 frags to be successful. You're counting on you being able to get the bomb. Like if the bomb carrier dies in main, like, countless amounts of risks. They do manage to triple the final hurdle, though, and NaVi securing that one pre-overtime. But I mean, that went down to the wire. We rode that off a few rounds ago, and NaVi and Mouse really kind of playing with our hearts.
Yeah, they did. Very well there, but that win was well needed as well by NaVi. That'll get them starting to build up in those rankings, and today's games might actually change a couple of opinions here. May not change too much to the overall rankings, but will start doing wonders for very specific teams. One of those being Hellraisers picking up that win against mousesports 16-9. Yeah. That will help them out drastically.
Yeah, I mean, Hellraisers have always been a team that have been kind of struggling. They seem to be always getting games super super close. You can see that when you look at the table. When you look at if you go to pro.eslgaming.com, you can see it all for yourself. But yeah, the results today. The first one, of course, was NIP being bested by a large margin. 16-3 the score, not getting past those 3 opening rounds.
And that's going to be a big wake-up call to NIP. You can see them on social media. They were very upset with their performance and just frustrated more than anything. So hopefully they can fix those issues, come back stronger, and just really work things out. It's not just that Get Right's calling. He has been calling for a while. That was just a poor performance. Following off the back of that, I'm glad to see Hellraisers doing well in their game, showing on Dust 2 they were just a little more dominant than Mouse, and off the back of that one, Titan outclassing Flipside quite drastically.
Yeah, Apex and Kenny just showing up there on Inferno. Really good to see, as well as RPK fragging as RPK does. In the final game of the night, you just witnessed it, that 16-14, which could very well have gone to overtime if a couple of extra frags had happened in the last 15 seconds. But, I mean, that concludes a great night of CS.
I think that sums out very well. We've had a phenomenal game of, well, a day of games, pretty much. It's been pretty darn good. I think we've seen a couple of issues here and there for the EU sides, but now we have to turn our attention to the NA teams, and there are some great games today. It's going to be the test of Nihilum, basically. Not only do they have Cloud9 coming up tonight, they also have Luminosity, so two very tough games. I'm going to probably stay up for that and be told off when I turn up at about midday tomorrow. But those two I'm looking forward to. This is a very big test for those two teams. But before that as well, a little bit of a warm-up for Cloud9, taking on Affinity. Not the biggest opponent, but certainly could do some damage, and mousesports desperately looking for a win.
Yeah, up against Tempo Storm. We'll see how that one shapes up on Inferno. But you've highlighted the two ones that I'm really, really excited to see. I mean, the fact that you've got Semphis and Hiko going up against Cloud9, like...
Who doesn't want to watch that?
Man, I'm ready to watch that one. That's going to be a best of one to remember, or at least I hope. So you can all catch that later on tonight, I guess, or tomorrow, depending where you are.
And if that goes wrong, right, and let's say Nihilum get a little bit, you know, a little bit rowdy off the back, let's say they either, you know, tilt in the wrong direction, then they have to face up against Luminosity as well.
Yeah.
Right? So you've got two players, well, let's say one, Hiko's pretty not as known for it, but Semphis, known for how vocal and how much they used to be able to tilt this guy. They used to do rounds just to annoy him. If, you know, maybe Cloud9 pulls that off, Luminosity could stand a good chance against probably some of the more superstar players in the NA region.
But then you remember Semphis has got a whole lot of understanding of Cloud9. I mean, there's so much speculation that can be made. I'm going to be watching that one. I don't know how I'm going to stay up till 3.
Oh, we're going to make it happen. We'll make it happen. Okay. I'm going to supply some Red Bull. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Set some alarms. But no, all in all, I think it's been a good day of CSGO today. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think I've had a lot of fun.
I also think we had a great break. So hopefully there's going to be a separate VOD of just that break. Maybe a little bit of a mixtape being released in the mix there.
Dennis's sweet mixtape.
Dennis is coming up big. But anyway, if you do want to check out those VODs, if you do want to look back at today's games as quickly as possible, head over to pro.eslgaming.com/CSGO. You can find all the links through that, and as well on YouTube. So hit it up as quick as possible. You can listen back to that fine mixtape coming out. You can listen to our chats about Pokemon. You can watch NIP being trashed. Whatever tickles your fancy, go and find out through the VODs in all those different platforms. But anyway, we've had a great time here. I've been Lauren Pansy Scott. He's been Alex Machine Richardson. And well, hopefully see you guys tomorrow.